You think you know what a shortage looks like: empty shelves, panic buying, your favorite brand gone. But here's the thing, the real shortage? It's not about what's missing, it's about what's still there. The USDA keeps a quiet list: critical food items for national security. In 2023, they added 2 new things: infant formula and potatoes. The last time a potato was on a government shortage list was the Irish famine. Wait, think about that for a second. Your government is planning for a potato shortage. What does that tell you about next week? You picture rationing as empty shelves, a line for bread. But the new rationing isn't about supply, it's about price. And the person doing the rationing is you. A quarter of households are food insecure. But most aren't at food banks. They're using quiet strategies: buying less meat, shrinking portions, watering down the milk. The fear of being seen as poor outweighs the fear of hunger. On a forum, someone describes the 2-cart trick: one for essentials, one for luxuries like fresh fruit. They abandon the second cart in the aisle before checkout to meet a budget no one else can see. Here's what nobody tells you. The official food budget assumes you have 2 hours a day to cook from scratch. It's a ration on your time, not just your money. So what's the one item you'd fight for? Your weekly grocery run. The total is $40 more than last month. You're not buying more, you're buying less. And it's still costing more. For a family in the bottom income bracket, food now eats over 30% of everything they bring home. So you do the math. You drive 45 minutes across a state line for cheaper milk, for eggs that don't cost a fortune. But here's the problem: the system that brings you that food, it's built for speed, not for safety. The average supermarket has a 3-day supply, just 3 days. Think about that. What happens on day 4? You'd think the answer is simple: just produce more food. We can. America is a net food exporter. The shelves shouldn't be empty. But here's the problem. The issue isn't volume, it's the structure. 4 companies control 85% of the beef you buy. 2 control the seeds. This isn't a broken system. It's a fragile one, designed for efficiency, not resilience. And fragility benefits someone. Who? The middlemen. In 2023, the big meat packers saw record profits. Meanwhile, the price paid to farmers for cattle fell. You're caught in the squeeze. Wait, think about that. Record profits for them, falling prices for the farmer, and your grocery bill climbs. The system works perfectly, just not for you. So what happens when a shock hits this fragile chain? We saw a glimpse. 2022, avian flu, 58 million birds culled, egg prices spiked 70% in months. That was a temporary shock. Now imagine a permanent one. A drought in California's Central Valley. It grows a quarter of your food. The system has no backup plan. But the price on the shelf is only the first trap. You pay the same, you get less. The chocolate has less cocoa. The ice cream has more oil. Skimpflation. It's already in your cart, and you're putting it on plastic. 37% of you couldn't cover a $400 emergency with cash. That grocery run is now on a card charging 24% interest. The cost of your cereal is compounding daily. Think this is about choices? It's about chemistry. Fertilizer prices are up 120% because they're made with natural gas. And the water for your bread? It's being mined from a vanishing aquifer. So the rationing isn't coming. It's here. Limits on eggs, limits on flour, a rolling, silent present. First, it's your favorite cheap pasta, up 20%. You grumble, you buy it. Then you stop buying shredded cheese. You buy the block. Your time becomes a budget line. 3 months in, you eat the same 5 meals. Variety is a memory, and the discount meat? Check the date. It's a gamble you're forced to take. A year from now, your diet isn't just different. It's fundamentally changed. What part of you goes with it? It starts small. The price of the coffee you buy every morning ticks up. Then the eggs. You tell yourself it's temporary, a blip. But then you see the Walmart grocery index. It's rising faster than the official inflation number. The 30 items you always buy. That's your real cost of living. And here's what nobody tells you. This isn't an accident. It's a design. The food in your cart, the meat you now ration, isn't just food anymore. It's an asset, owned by the same firms that manage your retirement fund. Their duty is to profit, not to your family's dinner. So they demand growth every quarter, which means your portion shrinks. Your choice disappears. Wait, think about that. The system feeding you is the same one starving your options. How long until you feel it? You thought the shelves were empty because the system broke. But here's the deeper truth. The system is working perfectly for its real shareholders. That anxiety you feel at checkout, the rationing, the shrinking packages, they're not bugs, they're features. Designed to transfer food security from your kitchen to a portfolio. So what do? You start building a buffer, 1 extra can of beans each week, a bag of rice, not hoarding, just creating a 3-month shield against the next spike. Because the smart money isn't waiting. It's moving into farmland, water rights, the boring assets that actually matter. They're securing the source, while you're just trying to afford the end product. Wait, think about that for a second. So what are the smart people doing? Not panicking. They're adapting. They're moving. Not across the country, but to places like the Midwest, where the farms are local and the rent frees up cash for food. They're learning skills your grandparents knew. Canning, baking sourdough. It's not prepping for doomsday, it's a buffer. But here's the catch. The real insiders? They're not buying groceries, they're buying the companies that own the water and the seeds. Think about that. The people who see the system closest are betting against your grocery store. They're hedging by owning the squeeze. What does that tell you about what's coming? So you pick your one item, you make your choice. But here's the thing. That choice was already made for you. The rationing isn't coming to the store. It's already in your budget, in the calories you skip, in the time you don't have. The real loss isn't coffee or milk. It's the ability to choose what nourishes your family, and on what terms. Wait, think about that. The menu was written by algorithms, optimizing for yield, not for you. So what's the one item you're truly losing? The illusion that you ever had a choice at all.